All right, hello again. Well, here's the deal. The reason why I wanted to wait to do a recap of the past three matches that the Fusion have had is one, because I've been really busy with real life stuff, and two, because I feel like it was necessary to look at the team for a couple of games and just let it all happen, see if the team could rebound after a bit of a slump that they went in, and see what they're going to be like for the rest of stage one of the season and also for the foreseeable future, possibly. So basically, here's what happened. The past week and a half for me has been extremely up and down. And unfortunately, that's bad because it raises anxiety in me and other Fusion fans concerning what kind of team we're going to get. Last season, we had two kinds of the Philadelphia Fusion. One type of the team, one flavor they had was being very clutch, very excellent at having that team synergy and having these high offense, ridiculously fun to watch plays. Then there was the other version of the Fusion, which was all around terrible and vanished instantly. And it ticked me off a lot, and with a lot of other people. And I felt those high emotions this week too. Game 3, pathetic. They lost to the Florida Mayhem, which are a low tier team right now and are expected to be a low tier team for the rest of the season. And they lost 1-2. One of the four maps was a tie, and they just didn't show up. They had uncharacteristic mistakes, and with that, I would be more upset. But the one positive I can say is that they did have to substitute in one of their top six, so I can't be too upset, but I was disappointed in that. Then, game 4, they lose 1-3 to the Dallas Fuel. Now, this one was not as upsetting to me because, one, I didn't watch as much of it because I was feeling exhausted that day, and it's the Fuel. They're expected to be better this season, so I understood that a little bit more. But I was still very worried. They went from a team that looked like to be possibly the best in the league into a very mediocre squad that was going to be going on a roller coaster once again this season. Might continue, hopefully not, but thankfully, Game 5, they're back on the winning track. They're solidly in a Stage 1 playoff spot now, with beating the Washington Justice 3-1. Pretty solid. Now, my overall thoughts on the past three games, I'm not going to do power rankings because that would take too long, and I don't find a necessity of it. But with judging by how the season is going to go, I think it'll be another roller coaster season where we have times where Carpe, Sato, Poco, Neptuno, Boombox, and EQO all look amazing and the best team on paper in the entire league. Maybe even as good as the New York Excelsior and the Vancouver Titans. Well, on the other hand, I think there are some games where we'll get a team that can easily lose to the, teams like Florida. It's crazy to think about, but Florida losing to a team that didn't do that much good in the off season and is expected to finish in the bottom three this season. And it's just really frustrating. It's something that it's describable, but it's still hard to comprehend. And that's the trouble with rooting for a team that has a lot of potential, but sometimes goes through these inconsistent slumps. And it's something that the Fusion struggled with last season, which is why at the end of the regular season, they did make it into the playoffs, but barely. They got the 6th seed. And it was similar with London, but London was slightly better. But in any event, both London and Philly got to the finals. It was great. But both of those teams had bouts of inconsistency, but it came out harder with Fusion. So with them barely making it into the postseason playoffs last season, with looking at the team this year, it could be the same thing. Getting that 6th seed, just barely making it, yeah, they made it. But they barely made it. It was a testament to how the Fusion last season had that roller coaster season, where half the season they looked amazing and the best team in the league. The other half, they looked weak and one of the low tier teams. So far, it's been the same thing. Now, I do think that their potential is better than last season. I think the team will get slightly better over time. At this point, I do think that they will make the finals. I do think that they could make the finals, at least possibly, if they continue to perform how they're doing. I mean, they got to the finals last season. So logically, one would think, myself included, that they have the potential to reach the finals again this season. At least one half of me thinks that. But the other half of me thinks that there'll be a round one exit in the postseason. So really, the more that I think about it, the more melancholic and skeptical that I feel about the Fusion. I don't want to feel that way, but I don't want to get this unjustified hope and get my positivity and optimism up when it's not really deserved. So the Fusion seem to be rebounding. They won Game 5. They're now 3-2. They're out of the top 8. They are 5th, I think. So they're doing okay right now. They're doing just fine. But they're not performing to the degree that I would have liked to see. They were expected to be 3rd this season out of 20 teams. When I checked the Reddit power rankings, that's where they were. 3rd out of 20. They were expected to be amazing. And they're good, not great. At least not so far. Now, they are a team that last season they did get slightly better over time. So we'll see if that projection continues. But for now, they look okay. I still have my worries concerning inconsistency and making the right decisions when they need to. I think this team has a lot of potential. I'll still be rooting for them wholeheartedly, but I could see this season being a little tough. But in any event, that's all I got. And until later, go Fusion go.